With our previous missions a success, we are finally in a position to strike back at the Hammer of Light forces. The goal is to give the Intrepid a fighting chance against the Cardinal. To do this, we must lure away as many HOL forces as possible, including the Frontier. To do this, we will make use of the Heraklion Corridor's unique ability to limit subspace travel and communications. The Intrepid will enter the corridor using a route we are confident is under surveillance. After deploying additional fighter wings, the Intrepid will exit the corridor and run silent to Novigrad. Once the Frontier has entered the corridor, the Admiral will do his best to taunt Ozymandias into a fight. The Frontier and its group must remain in the corridor until their drives recharge, so we must use that time to take them down. We expect to face a numerically superior battle group, so we will be using our enemy's force concentration and ignorance of the battlefield against them. 6 of the Redoubt's artillery platforms have been crewed and loaded to bear. Construction was never finished on the 6, and many of their subsystems were never installed. Because the platforms are essentially deaf and blind, Alpha 1 will be tasked with acquiring targets for fire support. This information will be sent to Masada Control, where it will be relayed simultaneously to all 6 platforms via an ECM-resistant optical signal. Lieutenant McGivers from the 422nd will set you up with several TC-2 practice targets to get you acquainted with the system. We expect the forces pursuing the Intrepid to include modified Nuit-class cruisers Apep and Duat. Intelligence left over in Masada Redoubt suggests their weapons have been modified for higher output. However, they must go through a recharge cycle after long volleys. Use this to your advantage to whittle down the fleet, while the cruisers maneuver for position of their next volley. Additional units will harry the HOL force as they make their way down the corridor. This will involve a combination of fighter sweeps and surgical strikes, mainly directed at the Frontier and her defenses. Alpha 1 will direct the mortar platforms in support of our defending wings. Priority targets will be those that reach Masada Control first, fighters and fast transports or freighters. As the HOL strike force percolates through our defenses, our units will conduct a fighting retreat down the corridor. Alpha 1's focus at this stage will be the destruction of HOL cruisers likely to attack Masada Control. Once the Frontier's advanced units have been stripped away, our forces will converge on the destroyer for the final attack. We must destroy the Frontier before she can open fire on Masada Control.
Alpha 1, welcome to the corridor. Kappa 1 will be showing you the ropes of the Masada missile platform. He's over by Crate Formation Super. Check your escort list if you get lost.
Intrepid, transport Graham. We are en route to you now with the last of the Masada personnel.
Understood, pilot. Tower reports launch deck ready to receive. Hell, plot outbound vector. Jump coordinates validated. 20 seconds to departure.
This is Lieutenant McGivers. Welcome to Forward Fire Control 101. We're pressed for time, so let's get started. If you look to the left side of your HUD, you will notice the Fire Control overlay. I'd like to direct your attention to the upper left, sir. That first line is your target range setting of 400 meters. Below that is the ammo type to be used in the current mortar strike. The third line displays how many salvos at that particular ammo type the platforms can fire. Right below that is the estimated time to target point. This is the average of the times it will take the mortars from each of the 6 platforms to arrive at your target coordinates. You'll have to remember that the first mortars might arrive a few seconds before that figure, and the last batch a few seconds after that figure, depending on the extremity of the coordinates you send. To the lower left, you'll see the Fire Control status bar. It'll update you on if you've got a strike ready or how long until you can call it the next one. Go ahead and cycle through the available ammo types. You're looking for the 430mm KE impactors. Right, now the coordinates you call in are always along your forward vector at whatever the range setting is. For example, if you call one right now, your strike will be delivered 400 meters directly in front of you. Lock up Container Group Super. There's a handy way marker in the center of the boxes. Check your escort list if you can't find it. Get to within about 400 meters of that way marker, drop your crosshairs on it, then call in a strike. This way marker will show where the ordnance is headed. As you'll be flying all over the place when things get real, this will help keep track of where the fire mission should land. Keep calling the shots until this batch is eradicated. You'll notice it gets harder as your target area decreases. Reposition as necessary, and try calling in coordinates around the containers rather than directly on top of them. targets won't be menacing us any longer. But there's more where they came from. Container Group Dynamic is up next, and defended by 4 Watchdog SGs. This is where distance comes in handy. You can set your target coordinates as far as 5,000 meters in front of you, or right on your head at 0 meters. Cycle the range setting up or down to match the range of Container Group Dynamic, and start adding them to the debris field. Looking good. You've graduated to the final round. There's a Kronos several clicks downrange running a rookie-level evasion program. That's your target. Go ahead and lock it in. Don't expect Holly to sit obligingly still while we shell them to death. They're going to move, and they're probably going to be rushing us the whole way down the corridor. Moving targets are going to require some sharp-eyed spotting and luck on your part. Each target will have a series of 5 nav markers attached. With the freighter selected, go ahead and cycle through those nav markers. You've got one for 250 meters in front of your target, 500, 1,000, and 1,250. You'll want the 250 settings for slow-moving caps, 500 for faster cruisers and freighters, and 1,000 and 1,250 for fighter and bomber formations. That wraps it up, sir. You can check how you compare to some of the other pilots on the score roster. Hopefully you made the grade, because we're going to need all the help we can get out here. Ball's in your court. Give it your best shot, and I'll try to offer advice where I can.
Echelon 3 here. Masada Control, we're detecting subspace activity inbound.
Defense network is online. We're ready for them. Gamma, get ready.
Alright, Alpha, here they come. Using the salvo targeting may seem daunting, but my advice is to avoid using it against the faster moving targets, and don't be afraid to use your on-board loadout to dispatch targets instead.
Detecting 4 Horse-class fighters. A scout wing. Gamma, destroy them before they escape and reveal the trap.
+1 for my kill count.
Good work, Gamma. Virgo is down. New marks. 1 Aten cruiser and escort. Alpha, you're up.
Alpha, this is your chance. Line up the Aten and unleash a few salvos. Alpha, I recommend you keep your distance from the fight and launch salvos as needed.
Reading solid hits on the Khalid. Keep it up, Alpha. been destroyed. The colleague has been destroyed. We're detecting heavy subspace activity. The main fleet must be inbound. Gamma, protect Echelon 4.
The frontier has been bracketed. Here we go!
Alpha 1, neutralize those fire ships ASAP. Set lead marker Z plus 500 meters and pulverize them.
Bandits inbound. Weapons hot.
Kappa Wing, leave any bombs to the sentry guns. Double up on sirens and make clean kills. Good luck.
Bandits closing with Echelon. Look where is weak. 6 bulls. Eat 'em up, people.
He's on my 6. I can't shake it.
On your 6, there's Echelon 1 here. Our station is falling. I'm sending the crew to the east.
Echelon 1 is down. Realigning defense rays to compensate.
There's a few more frozen Terran corpses for your debris field. Or where they came from.
Echelon 2 reporting 50% combat effectiveness and dropping. Get us more fire support or get us out of here, Command.
We're secure for the fire ship, Fred. Focus on the cruisers, Alpha 1. The fire ships have been destroyed. Better late than never. That's another hostile ship laid to rest. Keep them coming, Alpha.
Another one down.
Kappa 1 here. Multiple bandits engaged and destroyed our sector.
auxiliary power to maintain interference output.
Echelon 2 to any friendly unit. We are being overrun. Fire coordination is collapsing.
I have eyes on 2 ISIS transports approaching our position. Possibly sentry sweepers.
Solid hits on primary target. Good eyes, pilot. Cruiser APEP destroyed. Confirmed kill. Well done, everyone. Objective complete. Immediate threats to this station have been nullified. Echelon 2 has been destroyed. Total loss. All hands. Masada Control here. Bandits in our DZ. We've got no guns and won't last long against an Anubis-class fighter. Our next objective is ensuring the destruction of the frontier. We've still got time on the clock.
Alpha 1, threat roster pending. Stand by. Priority target, Mech-Edge-class cruiser Tefnut. She's talking with heavy laser turrets and missiles at standoff range. Secondary target, Vassadin support ship Heriho. Kill them and we kill their long-range missile stream. Target of opportunity, ISIS transport designated U-Put. Target is sniping local defenses in our periphery.
Such an impressive waste of ammo. Take your time.
Holly's using anti-bomber payloads against the platforms.
On your 6, there's one on your 6.
Rearming from support ship Heriho. They're popping long range, then falling back for reload.
I can't evade. Help! He's got me!
GTT Omega, your mission is a go. Be advised, your zone will be hot.
Transport Omega is active. We're making our run for Echelon 4.
Alpha 1, we've got trouble. Transport Wing Jeb is deployed to Frontier and is bound for Echelon 4. Cuck might be trying to beat us at our own game. Destroy them.
Echelon 3 reporting heavy damage sustained. We're closing bulkheads at ludicrous speed over here. Request help.
Hostile transports on final approach to Echelon 4. Nuke them now or we'll forfeit the station.
strikes are ruining us. Alpha 1, request you engage Pisces Wing or the Hero.
Defense network integrity is fluctuating. We've lost Echelon 3.
Echelon 4 to all units. We are online. Defense grid hot.
Frontier has fired her main thrusters. She's moving in. Our interference matrix is degrading. If Cuck wants to gamble, he can wreck our defense set before we trash the destroyer. Let him. Start the clock.
You embarrass yourselves with this juvenile delaying tactic. It's time for disciplinary action.
Fighter wings, prepare to engage the frontier. Defense stations, stay alert for aerodrome launches.
Tap nut to frontier. Where is the Cardinal? Where is the Kerma?
All units, converge on the frontier and destroy the warship. Alpha 1, pump every remaining salvo you've got into that fish.
He values his vendetta with Poe more than this battle group. Sanity abandons Osmandius.
Frontier below the damage threshold. Hit him with everything you've got.
Weapons hot. Engaging target.
We've got him, sir.
Targeting turrets now.
Rejoin an Intrepid afterward. Make for the jump area and depart.
Welcome back. Our battle with the Cardinal was a draw at best. Ozymandias fielded a countermeasure to our torpedoes that left us with only blob and flak cannons. We've jumped further in system to buy us time to prepare our response. Command is sending help, but our plans won't hinge on their arrival. The Antares Federation has started blockading the Beta Aquila jump node. Our situation would feel a lot worse if it weren't for telemetry you brought back. The sight of the frontier going up is the broken link in Ozymandias' chain the Admiral was hoping for. We just started broadcasting the video ship-wide and on civilian band frequencies. The cheering on flight deck still hasn't stopped, and the PVN can rest easy knowing their comrades have been avenged. Report to the briefing room. Your skills will be required if we're to check the Cardinal one final time.